Welcome to Offbeat, the light side of law enforcement, part of the Treehouse Podcast Network. I'm your host, Steve Rutherford. Co-host for today's show, Detective Curtis Hadley.
Thanks for having me, guys.
And we got two guests joining us today. In studio, we've got Sergeant Mike Rumfield.
Hey. Oh, he messed up the name again. Rumfield.
Rumfield.
No S.
But there's an S on America's.
Yes.
Wow,
yes.
Man.
Listen,
your S's are just like
words are going to be hard today.
Those damn apostrophes get me every time.
Yeah, Sergeant Mike Rumfield.
Hey, there we are. Hey, listen, guys, it's great to be here today.
Field or Feld?
Oh my God! Here we go.
Frankenstein.
Yeah.
All right, and joining us remotely from North Carolina, we've got Officer Bryson Campbell.
How you doing? How's it going, everybody?
Oh, good to have you. Good to have you guys.
Not confused with Campbell's. That's a soup.
Campbell's.
Nope.
Yeah, it's just regular Campbell. There's no S on it.
Yeah, I'm not responsible for the soup, or I wouldn't be a police officer.
They would have canned me by now, so it's cool.
Yeah.
Oh my man, this is not going well.
Could be a long show. Oh, all right. Anything exciting happened this week, Curtis?
Not in my neck of the woods.
Well, I'll tell you this. I had the opportunity, yes, the wonderful opportunity to go to the doctor for an annual exam this week.
Oh.
Mike, I don't, maybe we're close in age, Mike?
Yeah.
Yeah? Do you, when you go see the doctor for an annual exam, does he do a thorough exam?
Yeah, I'm still a knuckle virgin, man. I think
It happens.
I think you're. I mean, I'm
Okay.
assuming, but maybe not.
Yeah.
Any Super Bowl rings floating up there?
Well,
He might slide off his chair today. Let's just put it that way.
Or we won't be able to get him off the chair.
well, and we should throw this message out there for our listeners, guys. As first responders, you take a lot of physical and mental beatings over the years, so it's important that you keep yourself healthy and that you have regular checkups at the doctor. Now, unfortunately, as you get older, the doctor likes to check the male specimen for
Check the plumbing.
check the plumbing for any kind of prostate thing going on, right?
Yeah.
Highly, very important. Well, thank God I got to pass on that exam on Monday, so that's another win for a year. But it reminded me of a story in one of my previous, not that kind of story.
Well, is this on or off, dude? Let's just keep this real here.
Are we uploading this to OnlyFans? Like, what are we doing here?
Okay. Hey, God, I can't even start off. A sergeant I used to know, that still doesn't sound right.
Right.
I had a previous sergeant, and he talked about the first time he actually had to go through a prostate exam. He didn't know what was going on, so the doctor told him, and for those out there that don't know what's going on and are fortunate enough not to be in that age group, the doctor, the doctor puts something where nothing should ever go, well, in the direction nothing should ever go, and checks to see if your prostate's enlarged. And the doctor usually just throws on a glove, throws on some KY jelly, and wow. So anyways, the sergeant friend of mine, doctor told him, okay, bend over the exam table. Doctor stuck some Kleenex on the table in front of him, something to clean up with because the doctor uses, lubricant, thank God. Anyways, the doctor did his exam, and the sergeant didn't know what to use the Kleenex for, so the doctor's like, okay, we're all done. The sergeant used the Kleenex to act like he was blowing his nose.
I'm not going to lie. I would have dried my tears with it.
Like, no, man, you're supposed to use that to clean yourself.
Clean yourself up.
Oh, all right. Yeah. It's
well, hopefully the doctor's hands were accounted for the entire interaction.
Yeah, right. Right. Well, and we always like to give out good tips here on the show. A tip to our listeners: if you are in search
Just
of a new
tip. Go ahead.
Oh, if you're in search of a new doctor, gentlemen, make sure that you check out the size of their hands before you
Absolutely.
choose
100%. 100%.
A doctor with small hands is a good doctor.
Absolutely.
Yeah, any doctor that has a bio that has anything about was a D1 defensive tackle was NFL offensive lineman.
No, if his nickname is like Tiny, no, we're not doing this.
No, I want a 75-pound Asian lady that has sticks for fingers. Like, there we go.
Wow, Mike, we kind of got personal on this one. Oh wow!
I think we kind of broached the whole personal thing already. I mean, it's
I'm not sure if I'm supposed to hug you guys or shake your hands when we leave here.
The hands are clean. I can't guarantee anything.
Okay. Well, Mike, let's start with you here. You're a returning guest on the show.
Yeah, thank you for having me back.
And you are absolutely.
I guess I wasn't terrible the first time. Well, of course, there has been a break, so maybe you just forgot about how bad it was first, and they were like, "Hey, let's have Mike back."
I should have gone back and listened to the episode.
I'm glad you did it. I'm glad you did.
A lot of editing, but we're good.
Yeah.
No, last time you were here, you talked about Kilo, a K9, and Kilo is clearing out the SWAT team by dropping off gifts in the middle of the SWAT team.
Yeah. We're glad he's not operational anymore.
Now, you are currently an officer. You're currently a sergeant.
Yeah.
And let's remind our listeners, where do you work?
So currently I'm with Princeton Police Department, just east of McKinney in Collin County. That's after I came on there about 18 months ago after 21 years at Collin County, between the sheriff's office and constable's office. But it's been a good run, coming up on a little over 24, coming up on 25 years in the business altogether. So it's been a lot of fun.
Very, very nice. What's your magic number on that?
Death.
Or his credit cards are paid off, one of the two.
That's why it will be death.
Good. I just like to mention that Mike is married.
I am.
Going to his credit card debt there.
Yeah. So it's she's a wonderful lady, but I give her homicidal tendencies on a daily. So my day job and personal life are equally dangerous.
All right. Now, Bryson, you're currently an officer as well, correct?
Yes.
And where do you currently work?
I am currently employed with the Wilmington Police Department here in Wilmington, North Carolina.
And how long have you been out there?
I've been here just over 8 years now.
Goodness.
And before that, I was there in Fort Worth for 5 years.
Okay, man. So what made you leave Fort Worth and head out to North Carolina?
I feel like a lot of either good or bad decisions in your life involve a woman. And
do we need to stop there?
And in my case, it was a good decision. My wife is from out here, and we met when I was serving in the military out here, and we came back to Texas after I got out and stayed there for a while. And she was always homesick, and I'm one of those types that I'm all right wherever I am. So we moved on back here in 2016.
Well, you said after you got out of the military, Mike, you're also a veteran.
Yeah, it was Army.
Thank you both for your service. We appreciate you guys. And
Appreciate it.
Now, Bryson, your time in Fort Worth, I guess you came to know this guy to my right, Curtis.
Yeah. We worked on the same side of town for a while. Curtis was, I believe, one class ahead of me in a police academy, so he was out.
I was
a little
127.
bit. Yeah, that was 128. So, when I first got out of field training, I was assigned to Central Division, and then didn't really care for that part of town. So I had some friends that I'd gone to the academy with out on the west side of town, and we all wanted to work together. So I put in the transfer and got out west, and that's kind of where I learned how to be a police officer. Really, I was fortunate enough to have a great group of officers to work with. Most of us, if not all, were 2 years and under, and fortunate to have one of the best sergeants that I've ever worked for to this day. Kind of, take us under his wing and foster us and mold us into to the right type of police officers. So it was a great place to be for the start of my career.
Yeah, man, that is so important to have good leadership in law enforcement.
Yeah.
Well, the area he's talking to is Las Vegas and Calmont.
Okay.
And it was a foot chase every night, multiple foot chases every night. Which Bryson's what, he's 6'9" or something. I don't know. This guy here, he would take off running, and it would take me a mile to catch up with him. So.
6'3", not quite 9.
Well, it felt like 6'9". He would take off, and I was like, I'll catch him like maybe 6 blocks up the road in the car. But yeah, it was always a couple of foot chases every night, man.
Yeah, it was definitely a rough area, to grow up in as a police officer. You gotta be on your game every day, every call. You never know what you're walking into, but it's also, a good area to hone your craft, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
You get real good at a lot of things real quick because you don't have any other choice.
Well, and
Well said.
That's good. Get exposed to a lot of different calls, a lot of different things, some complicated calls. Yeah, makes you a good, well-rounded officer. Now, as I understand it, in North Carolina, now you're doing mounted patrol?
Correct. Yeah. I did 2 years. With most units, you got to do like a probationary period when you first come on, and I did my 2 years in patrol, and then an opening in the mounted unit came open, and I thought what a a stark contrast to anything I've ever done before. Most of the time, you're dispatched to somebody's house and it's the worst day of their life. But on the horse, every encounter for the most part, it starts off on a positive note. People love horses. People who may not particularly like the police, they love horses, and they'll still come up, and you get to have an interaction that an officer in a patrol car just doesn't get to have on a day-to-day basis, and we do it dozens of times a day. So
is your horse technically your take-home car, or?
No.
I've never been to North Carolina. So I had to ask.
No, we got pickup trucks that we drive. We haul the horses around with them, but no, we got a barn and pasture, facility that they live at, and we work with them on our days that we work, and then when we're done, I leave that mess at the barn.
There you go.
So answering calls. You answer calls on the horses?
Absolutely, yeah. We're assigned to patrol, but we're assigned to our downtown task force. We've got a task force that's comprised of sheriff's office deputies and city police officers that works in our downtown area, and that's what we're assigned to. So we spend most of our time downtown. We have the freedom and capability to go anywhere in the city that we would like to, but 99% of the time we stay downtown, and we're available for calls down there. And people always ask, what do you do on the horses? Why do you have the horses? I said, we can do anything that an officer in a patrol car can do, with the exception of transporting prisoners.
I saw an old Western once, man. Can't you put him behind you on the saddle?
Well, he'll just move the MDC over a little bit and throw him right there.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah. Now, people were like, well, why don't you just, tie him up and let him walk behind you? I said, well, some officers,
John Wayne.
Yeah, some officers tried that in a different city not too long ago, and that didn't work out well for them. So we try our best every day not to end up on CNN.
Yeah, I need to spook the horse after that.
Yeah, so but yeah, we're available for calls. Whether it be, we make traffic stops, we write tickets, work regs.
That was going to be my very next question.
Where's the siren at?
How many citations did you issue yesterday on your horse?
None yesterday, and they're very few and far between. It's got to be something, on view we're right there, and we can holler at them, and they're not going a very high speed. Maybe you run a stop sign or some of that nature. We're not out there, although it has been done by one of my partners, running radar on the back of a horse. So he years ago when he was downtown, and I guess he thought it'd just be something funny to do, and a local newspaper reporter saw him do it and took a picture of it, and he ended up on the front page of the newspaper running radar on the back of a horse. So, but
how do you get the cars to stop? I mean, you
run beside them and say pull over.
Yeah,
just kick it.
If they're going slow enough, we'll holler at them. Put your hand up. Give them the old stop. Stop motion, and just hope they stop. I'm not going to put the horse in front of the car to block them or anything of that nature. And to be honest, we've had some success with that, and then other times they just keep on going, and you're just like, well. Just one of those things. It's not worth putting myself or the horse in danger.
Sounds like a lot of horsing around.
It is. We do a fair amount of that.
Well, one point in time when we first started our bicycle patrol at one of the agencies I worked at, you like that?
Yeah.
At one of the agencies I worked at, we had an officer that was really gung-ho, and he had the little red and blue flashy lights on his bike and the little siren, and he started running traffic on one of our major roads. Got a talking to. He was like, yeah, don't do that, man. Bad idea.
We have seen other agencies, other mounted agencies. A couple of years ago, we took the horses up to Police Week in DC, and units from all across the country show up there. And I believe they were from Ohio, somewhere in Ohio, Columbus maybe. And they actually did have red and blue lights on their horse. So
Wow.
there is a market for that type of thing. We just thought it looked ridiculous. So
I don't know where you put the battery.
Yeah, I don't know.
Going back to prostate exams.
They're double A's. Yeah.
Tell the horse don't cough.
But yeah, so I mean,
Here's some Kleenex.
we use them.
That's a lot of Kleenex.
In the summertime, we work night shift. We have a pretty vibrant bar scene downtown, and so we work night shift in the summertime to help with that, and also because it's so hot during the day that our horses would just fry.
Oh yeah.
We don't want to be out in it either. So, but we do that with them, and we can make arrests, and the whole bar scene, and we do crowd control with them sometimes. And there was one time we were on our main street downtown. It's called Front Street, and we were clearing this crowd. A fight had broken out. There were officers on the ground, and what we'll try to do usually is just kind of form and hold an outer perimeter so that the officers on the ground can get in there and take care of business. Well, we're trying to move these people back, and I've got this girl standing beside my horse, and I'm yelling at her, move your feet, or clear this area. And she's looking at me like I'm speaking Chinese, and I was like,
Not good.
I looked straight down at her. She's off to my left side, and I said, move. Like I was yelling at her, move out of the way, go on. She said, in the softest, most calm tone she could muster, "Sir, I can't move. Your horse is standing on my foot." And I looked down, and sure enough, he was. So I gave him a little goose with the spur, and he moved, and she scurried off to parts unknown. But I don't know that I would have been that calm.
He was walking like John Wayne when she walked off.
Yeah.
This is Offbeat, the light side of law enforcement. Check us out online at offbeatcopshow.com.
Let's welcome Daniel Cook from Cook DFW Roofing and Restoration into the studio. Daniel, I just changed insurance companies, and they asked me how old my roof was. Man, I have no idea. Is there any way to tell how old your roof is?
Steve, that's very common. We are partners with a couple of local agents around here, and when they sign up new clients, a lot of their underwriting or requirements from their people above them is they want to know what they're insuring, and that being the roof age is very critical because that's one of the largest components that they're going to be on the hook for if something bad happens to your home is the roof. And so there are some telltale signs. we can go up there, we can look at the shingle, we can see what kind of abrasions it has, we can see what kind of granular loss it has. Sometimes we can see the back of the shingle, and it gives us a little bit of information, like a certain code. Sometimes it's a year produced number, different things like that. But a lot of times it's just, scientific, trying to get a good scope of how brittle that shingle is, how it looks, what the wear and tear factor, the fading of the shingle, those kind of things can give us a good glimpse of the age. And we're pretty good. We can usually narrow it down within a year or two. If somebody says, hey, give me your best guess scenario. And a lot of insurance companies will take that because we have to write up a document stating in our beliefs, we believe this shingle is between 4 and 7 years old or something like that. But, shingles, they don't always age the same though either. You may have a shingle that is sitting there in a lot of bright sun, flatter roof, and has, an age of only 4 years, and it looks like it's 8 years old. So it's not always, purely always correct either. We're using our best guess scenarios sometimes, and if we can't tell them for sure, then that's just the way, unfortunately, it has to go. But, if you're changing insurance companies, a lot of times they will want to know the age of the roof and the condition of it. So we love to do those kind of reports for you if that helps. Sometimes the insurance companies will send out their own employees or companies they work for to do that. And that's becoming more and more routine though, Steve.
So basically, when in doubt, have it checked out. And wow, that kind of rhymed. I like that. When in doubt, have it checked out. Give the guys over at Cook DFW Roofing and Restoration a call. They can help you out with that new roof repair, remodeling, or restoration. The number, 833-COOK-DFW. Again, that's 833-COOK-DFW. The website, cookdfw.com. Be sure to ask them about their free first responder upgrade. Yeah, Curtis, we started off this segment, Curtis saying, we need the timer, Curtis. Again, it's going to be a long day today.
Well, I'm glad we're recording.
Well, welcome back. Welcome back to Offbeat, the light side of law enforcement. I'm your host, Steve Rutherford. Your co-host for today's show, Detective Curtis Hadley.
Nice being here, guys.
And joining us in studio, we've got Sergeant Mike Rumfield.
All right.
Nailed it.
Doing better. And joining us remotely from the state of North Carolina, we've got Officer Bryson Campbell.
Sir.
So this segment sponsored by Alexander Financial Management. If you have questions about retirement planning, investment strategies, life insurance, or estate planning, check out Alexander Financial Management at alexfm.com. Now, Mike, let's get to you here. You've been an officer for a long time, just promoted to sergeant, but in addition to all that, you are a founder of America's Defenders Foundation, correct?
Oh, he's killing it now.
I tried it.
He's on it.
America's, not America.
Yes. So. Yeah. So my wife and I, we founded America's Defenders Foundation back in 2016 and have been going since. I mean, every year we have our largest event, the Thin Blue Line ball that comes up every April. So planning for that right now, kind of really in the weeds on that, getting that ironed out, making sure all the production is good for everybody that will be attending that on April 5th. And it's been a good year. It's been tough. Honestly, everybody knows the economy's kind of sucked for the past few years, right? So
You're being nice.
You're kidding.
Yeah. It's been rough, and a lot of nonprofits. So we have a lot of nonprofit partners that we've worked with and developed relationships with over the years, and everybody's feeling it. Everybody's groceries are higher, gas is higher, interest rates are through the roof. So discretionary income has really fallen off over the past few years. But I will say that we have been very blessed that the people who and the members of the community who support law enforcement, who also support AMDEF's mission, and then obviously the officers and families of officers all around the country, they've continued to show up and they've continued to enjoy the events and have fun during the evening. And we've been very blessed in that regard. And I think a lot of that's really attributed to the fact that we don't put on a normal, what you would think of as a ball or a gala, right? I mean, we don't have a keynote speaker. We know what cops like and what they don't, right? We know that we all have attention spans of roly-polies. Like, we get distracted very quickly. So
Wait, what are we talking about again?
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. So it's not structured in a manner that we're going to lose you, right? It's all ceremony based. We try to move through it as quickly as we can from one ceremony to the other. Now, obviously, when we get to the memorial, we're taking our time with that.
Yeah,
right?
the memorial to our fallen.
Yes, and I venture to say it's one of the most comprehensive memorial ceremonies that you will attend in person.
Yeah.
It's got multiple components between. We have, speaking of horses, we actually have a professional performing horse that comes out and opens up the ceremony. And it basically, they coordinate with our honor guard team after they ground all the items on the man down table, memorial table. They will coordinate as the honor guard is rendering their memorial salute. The horse will actually bow at the man down table.
That's pretty cool.
So that's something that you don't see.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So, and we have to bring that horse out from South Texas to make that happen. So, and that just starts the memorial ceremony. Between that, the actual presentation of the memorial, and then ending it with a live bugler and pipes and drums, which Fort Worth Pipes and Drums will be back this year to perform. So it's a very comprehensive memorial ceremony. I know there's lots of organizations, lots of entities that have bits and components of what we do, but I've not seen any other organization that puts it all together in one ceremony. So between that, we also have a spouse ceremony. We honor our lovely spouses who support us through all the hell that we put them through our careers. And then no, especially
that's why I don't go.
Yeah. Especially, So yeah, we have some little intricacies of the evening that get people involved, right, and let everybody in the crowd and everybody watching that we understand and we recognize the hardships that not only we go through, right, as the officers that are going out and doing taking care of our business, but also the hardships of the ones that were living at home that evening, and hoping that everything works out well, but that stresses and all of the impacts that can have on the family life, even if everything goes great that night.
Oh, sure.
Just the stress and the hardship and the schedules and the switching back and forth, it can create a lot of a family issue. So,
and you guys also honor our survivors of our fallen there.
We do. We have, and I won't go into too much of what we do on that because I don't like to publicly put that out. But we do take care of our families of our fallen prior to the actual ball happening. Yeah. We have a private deal that we host for the families, and I'll just kind of leave that one there a little bit. But there is something that we do prior to. I will say that Leilani has been very good about, she coordinates hair and makeup for the hotel, at the hotel. So all of our members of fallen families can come prior to the ball, get free hair and makeup done on behalf of AmDef, getting them ready for the gala. And it's a big emotional night for that corps as well.
Yeah.
Can y'all fit Steve in? Because I mean, he needs to.
We've tried, dude.
The double chin just kind of gets him.
Listen, if you knew how many stylists we've gone through
ass,
trying to make him look good,
I was nice.
Rough.
I said double chin. I could have gone triple, but I was holding back.
Yeah, Karen and I have attended the ball many times, and it's always a good evening.
Well, and here's the thing: once you get through the emotional side, right? Once you get through the emotional side and the hard part of the ball, it turns into a giant party.
Yeah, it's a good time.
We've
It really
got
is.
casino night going. We've got a dance club going, a dedicated dance club. So not just a floor in the middle of the ballroom. It's a dedicated 5,000 square foot dance club, a casino night. So everybody's having a good time. Obviously, the bars are raging. But, it turns into a giant law enforcement family party.
Good deal.
And this year's event, you said it's going to be April 5th. It's at the Marriott Dallas Allen Hotel and Convention Center.
Yeah, so they put a really, really long, egregious name on it, but it's the Marriott Allen Convention Center at Waters Creek. Basically Bethany and 75.
Okay. And if someone were looking to purchase tickets to come out, where could they find a place to get those tickets?
Mike Rumfield at OnlyFans. No, I'm kidding.
Hey, I said no personal endorsements.
Yeah.
My bad. I mean, technically, it's under an LLC, so it's not personal.
Oh, we'll take it that way.
No, it'll be thetblb.com. So the word tblb.com.
Okay.
And they'll take you straight to the website that's dedicated only for the ball.
Only.
Only.
Only for the ball. Singular.
Only for the
Yeah.
fans of the ball.
Again, Karen and I've been several times. We always enjoy the evening out there. So guys, if you've never been or if you have been before, then make sure you go ahead and get your tickets for this year's. Again, the event's going to be April 5th. Now, Mike, getting back to some stories here.
Yeah.
You've got a history of being on the SWAT team there at the sheriff's office out in Collin County, but
Yep.
I understand you tried out for a SWAT team recently.
Yeah. I mean, as long as you use the word tryout loosely, then I'm cool. We can ride with that. So, back in my 20s, early in my career, I did spend
1920s.
I'll see. Do we allow fighting on this thing or no?
We're good. We're good.
We've got technical difficulties. We'll be back after these messages.
So back in not the 1920s,
40s.
40. Yeah. All right.
Sorry, go ahead, Steve. I just messed
No,
with you.
we're about ready to reenact this testicular exam, but with a foot.
Wow.
As long as you give him Kleenex.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm glad you're in the middle.
So early in my 20s, early in my career, I did do my first 10 years on a SWAT team with the sheriff's office and moved up the ranks and left that team after my last 3 years. I was the team leader there. So then I went to the constable's office and I wasn't on the team, obviously. I wasn't with the agency, so
Did constable stuff.
did constable stuff. Yep. And so then I left the county after 21 years, and then 18 months here at Princeton. Well, while I was here, my first year here, they stood up a SWAT team or SRT team. And I initially was like, nah, I'll pass on it, guys, right now. It's not a good time. Personally, I'm just getting my feet wet in the agency. Let me establish myself a little bit.
Absolutely.
And about 6 months later, they added a couple more SWATs to the team and asked if I would consider it. And
So you broke down.
I broke down.
Yeah.
I broke
pressure.
down. I
They
was
Sheriff
like,
time.
They got you.
they got me. So I went ahead and tried out. Well, from the initial time I've tried out, the first time, that was 10 years on the team. So fast forward another 10 years, it's been essentially 20 years since the first time I tried out. And as you mentioned earlier, kind of the opening with some of the medical stuff, our bodies don't age very well.
No, they don't.
And there's parts of my body now that I only know exist because they hurt. And so I go into this tryout, and it's an O-course related tryout or obstacle, and then you get to the board and all that good stuff, right? But part of it is a 40-yard body drag, so 20 up, 20 down, in addition to some other calisthenics and stuff that goes on. Well, after the body drag, after the 40 yards, my right leg started to.
Oh, by the way, I hate to interrupt.
Yeah.
For our non-first responder listeners out there, a body drag, it's not a real body.
Oh yeah, no, we're not throwing corpses around. No.
Okay, just wanted to make sure everyone knew that.
Yeah, no, it's a red man stuffed.
Why is it going to be a red man?
I don't, because the freaking thing's red.
Mike, I'm Native American. Why is it good? Okay. Anyways, go ahead. I'm a little
Well, you can
offended
volunteer
right now.
next time we do the PT
Drag
test.
you around.
We'll just drag you around then. How about that?
His whole 132nd is just really offended right now.
I don't.
Yeah.
All right. Sorry.
So, all right. So now that we've successfully derailed that one, so so my leg starts giving out, and I'm not realizing what's going on. I just realize that my foot's kind of dragging a little bit. Well, after we get done with the last set of, I think they're crunches, then before our last sprint to the finish line, my right quad just decides, I'm done. I'm not firing anymore. I'm done. So I get up, I start to take off, and immediately on my face. And I thought that my buddy who was spotting me pushed me. So I'm barking at him. I'll be like, dude, don't push me, man. And he was like, I didn't touch you.
I didn't, man. You just fell on the ground.
So I get up and immediately down on the face. I'm like, what in the hell is going on? So get up, down on the face, and finally all the guys at the finish line are like, just roll. You have plenty of time. So I get up and I walk because that's the only thing my leg will allow me to do through the finish line. But here's the moral of the story. Even though parts in your body fail the older you get, never, ever, ever give up, because even after all of that, I still beat 3/4 of the times of guys who are 15 to 16 years younger than me, even with one leg through
With
half
one
the
leg.
course. Yeah.
Well, kudos to you. I couldn't do it with 3 legs. I'm not gonna lie. So I don't even try. I'm low speed, high drag. So
I think we call those parachutes.
pretty much. Hey man, I'll take it. I'll take it because I still get a paycheck at the end of the week.
There you go. There you go.
Curtis is low speed and high drag.
I am.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, I never did SWAT. Never tried out. So man, good for you doing it a second go round.
Yeah. I mean, it's been, when your legs work, it's fun, but
Not as fun whenever you've got one leg.
no. When your body reminds you that you're old and decaying, it sucks.
Now, Bryson, I got a question for you. Being a mounted officer, we had a previous guest on the show, John Luna. He was a mounted officer down in, what was it, San Marcos?
Yes.
I think it's San Marcos PD many years ago, and he told us how they actually they could frisk somebody from the horse, and he would actually lower the horse's head down, have them grab hold of the horse's mane, and then he would just pull back on the reins so the horse's head came up, and would extend the people's arm out and just reach down and frisk them. He said obviously he couldn't get down to their toes, but it'd feel around their
Right.
waist and stuff. Do you guys do that?
We don't do that particular technique. We have kind of something different that we would do. What we would probably do is we take one arm and we grab their arm and kind of pull it up over where the saddle horn would be on a Western saddle.
Mm-hmm.
We'd pull it up, and so basically, and then your partner, your other horse, would come up on the other side of him and kind of sandwich him in between us.
An
So he's
equine
got-
sandwich. Got it.
So he's got one arm up over the saddle, and we're able to control him. And then you basically kind of you would lean over and, feel around the waist and do stuff like that, So,
wow, without ever
That's
getting
how-
out of the saddle.
That's crazy.
oh yeah. Yeah. We attempt to do everything from the saddle. So handcuffing, same technique. You would take that arm, throw the first cuff on. You still have control of that arm, and when it's torqued up over the saddle like that, you can inflict some pain
I bet.
if you need to. And then once you get the first cuff on, you ask for the second arm, and hopefully they're smart enough to make the right decision and put it up there for you. And you would cuff then, and you can hold. Sometimes if we have 3 horses, we can triangulate, a suspect in between us, or their only way out basically would be to crawl underneath, and that would be a bad decision as well. So,
Yeah.
but we've had situations where, we've been. I was sitting one night on a horse and just happened to be looking down the street at bar closing, and the sidewalks are full of crowds and stuff, and I see this grown man haul off and just sock the fire out of this woman in the face, and so we ride over there, and I got the brick wall here, and I push him up against it with my horse, and then the other horse stands in front of him. So now we've triangulated him, and we're able to conduct our investigation that way and detain him and handle the situation. But so we've got all those techniques that we use. So there may be some variances from different ways different places do it, but they're all basically the same.
So to keep him running away, do you put your horse hoof on his foot?
No, that was purely accidental. We don't have that measure of control, but people always ask, "Oh, how fast did they go?" Or have you? That's probably the number one question. Have you ever chased somebody? And the answer is yes. In a little over 6 years, I've done it once, but it's just not a safe thing to do for us because they wear the steel shoes on the bottom of their feet, and we have they consider our downtown a historic downtown, so we have a lot of like cobblestone brick streets, and those steel shoes on those brick streets can be real slick, and so we don't want them falling down. So we don't run the horses hardly ever. Like I said, I've done it once. We don't usually chase people. If the need for that arises, there's always somebody in a car that ain't too far away.
Yeah, and I can't imagine you're 0 to 60 times real fast.
No,
but it's faster than a human's.
but it makes you wonder how many horsepower it is.
Yeah. Oh, that's another question. Yeah. Any kind of horse related joke that you can think of, I've heard 1,000 times.
I bet you have. But have you ever taken through a drive-through to get food?
No, we did have our original mounted officer back in 1998 took his horse inside a bar one time down here.
Nice.
Well, that'd be simple in Texas. I mean,
yeah,
that'd be fine in Fort Worth. All right, guys.
What's such a long face?
Yeah.
Well, he's on it today.
Yeah.
All right, we'll be back. Let's talk to David now from Cindy Leisure Farmers Insurance Agency. Their number is 972-784-8888. Now, David, what should people consider when choosing an insurance agent?
One thing about us, we've been in business since 1986, and we serve the Farmersville, Collin County area. You want to make sure that your agent's been established for a while. At our office, we just don't take your money, and sell you a policy. We're going to be with you throughout the whole process. If you call us, we're going to call you back. You email, we're going to respond. You send us a text, we're going to send you a text back. We don't give you an 800 number for you to be your own agent. We are your agent.
Well, and me personally, in the past, I've dealt with the insurance companies that I'd either call them and have to leave a voicemail message, or I would email them and I wouldn't hear back for a week. So that's
exactly, and that's my biggest pet peeve. And I tell my office staff, if somebody emails us, we're going to email you back. If somebody calls, we're going to call you back. And several companies out there, you'll call them, leave them several messages. You might talk to 10,000 people before you get the right person. That doesn't happen at our office. Our customers are what keep us in business, and it doesn't matter if you have one policy or 20 policies. Everyone's a VIP with Cindy Leisure Farmers Insurance.
Give the folks at Cindy Leisure Farmers Insurance Agency a call for any of your insurance needs. The number is 972-784-8888. Again, that number, 972-784-8888. Be sure to ask them about their first responder discount.
Planning for the future is challenging, and getting where you want to go in life requires strategies built around your unique financial needs. Alexander Financial Management is here to help you reach your goals. As fiduciaries, Alexander Financial Management will pursue the best solutions for you, no exception. While their decades of experience and service are available to everyone, Alexander Financial especially wants to help first responders and their families. The founder is a former police officer, and the executive team includes a retired fire captain and a retired police officer. Their extensive background in public service gives a deep understanding of the public retirement systems of Texas. So for retirement planning, investment strategies, life insurance, and estate planning, Alexander Financial Management has your back, so you can look forward. Get more info at alexfm.com. That's alexfm.com. Investment advisory services offered through Transcend LLC, a registered investment advisor. TE3 and Alexander Financial are not affiliated entities. Insurance products and services are not offered through TE3, but are offered and sold through individually licensed and appointed agents.
And we're back to more Offbeat, the light side of law enforcement. We're joined with two guests today in studio. We're joined by Sergeant Mike Rumfield.
You were so close. So close.
Dude, that's it.
You forgot the I. It's Field.
Field. God.
There will be a test later, by the way. So,
at least I got the second.
You did. You got it. You nailed the second time.
Yeah. And joining us remotely from North Carolina, we've got Officer Bryson Campbell.
Well, you got my name right all three times, so
there you go.
You're good in my book.
Yeah, you were blessed with an easy name.
Oh, let me see here. All right, guys, if you've not been to the website, check it out, offbeatcopshow.com. On the website, you can listen to all episodes of the show. Also, at the top of the website, we've got a button for a button or link you can click on for the RMS Treehouse Listeners Foundation. Of course, the foundation provides monetary assistance to families of our fallen officers and firefighters here in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex, covering 10 counties. So click on that link, check it out, and I'd invite you to make a donation there. Foundation's helped out a lot of folks we know that unfortunately have found themselves in the position of being a survivor of a fallen first responder. So consider donating. Also, if you have not checked it out yet, check us out on Facebook, Instagram, also YouTube.
Yep.
If you're watching this show on YouTube, give us one of those little thumbs up things, likes, hit subscribe at the top, leave us a comment. Whatever.
Give us the finger.
That's a thumb. It's different.
Do you want the thumb? I don't think you want the thumb.
No.
You need more than tissues for that, my friend.
Do not give us the thumb.
We'll take the pinky for two.
70-pound Asian pinky.
See,
right?
He's coming around already. Ella took it out.
Holding me into pinky swear.
And also, guys, if you come across something funny you're seeing on Instagram or Facebook, send us a message. Share it with
absolutely.
us. We'd love to take a look at it and go over it on the show. Also, if you're a officer and you've got a funny story you would like to come on the show and share with our listeners, then send us an email. It's offbeatcopshow@gmail.com. Again, offbeatcopshow@gmail.com. Our .com guy right there. Now, I did want to ask you about this, Bryson. If you're on your horse and someone takes off or you go to answer a call, do you ever get the horse to stand up on its back legs and yell, "Hi-yo, Silver"?
No, I want to keep all 4 feet on the ground. That's the main goal every day. Stay on his back and keep all 4 feet on the ground.
And Mike's trying to keep 2 feet on the ground.
Trying, yeah. I'm successfully half the time, but yes.
And keeping with today's theme, Mike, you pointed something out on break. If you're not watching on YouTube, if you're listening, inside the studio, we've got a patch wall from, and we've got patches from various agencies, but we've got some military on there too. And Mike, what did you notice there?
Yeah, so I just noticed that right under your Offbeat patch, wood patch, which by the way is that's a sick patch. You've got the Cav, Army Cav, and you've got the Army's second ID patch, which for the people who can't see, Obviously, the Cav has got a horse head on it facing the line, which there's a story behind that as well. But the second ID patch is got an Indian chief head on it. So with keeping the storyline and the theme of today's horses and cowboys and
red men,
red men, and you messing with me about throwing Indians around, right behind you, right behind you, you've got all along the theme was embedded in your wall of the horses and Indians, cowboys and Indians, all the whole time.
You know what? I'm buying a lotto ticket today.
You go.
Notice the horses on your side of the studio. The Native American Indian image is on my side. So
yeah.
Horse's ass on one side and
horse's ass down there on the end. By Mike.
I there's not many who would argue against that.
Now, Bryson, you started off your career in Fort Worth. You said that's where you really learned a lot of the basics to the job and really got some good experience in. What is the craziest thing you ever saw in your time at the Fort Worth Police Department?
I don't know if it's craziest or what adjective I would use to describe it, but it's one that's always stuck out in my mind. And you do this job long enough and you'll forget more stories than you ever remember. But this one's always stuck out in my mind. So me and my partner Dixon, we rode two-man together every day. He would drive and I worked the computer because he would get car sick if he was on the computer. So that was our arrangement. And so we worked that area for a couple of years, and so we got to be known around the area to certain people, and they would give us information, as tends to happen. So we had worked a home invasion robbery at an apartment complex prior to that, and so through different channels of CIs and stuff, we had gotten information on who had committed this offense. So we had our target at that point, and we were usually pretty good hunters when it came to finding somebody. So we got some information on this particular day that our target was at a certain apartment. So we go over and we're like, how are we gonna get in this apartment and look for this guy? So we may or may not have made up a bogus noise complaint. And so we go over, hey, we got a noise complaint, something about a domestic disturbance. And there, obviously nothing of that nature had been happening. So, well, do you mind if we come in and check? And all of a sudden we hear the sound of elephants crashing upstairs in this apartment. And so, we both look at each other and like, okay, we're on to something here. So we hear crashing. And Dixon was at the door and I was kind of standing back. Well, all of a sudden I see the windows start rattling up in the apartments, that were it was the middle apartment in a row of about 10. So I start seeing the windows rattling, and I'm like, as I'm looking, the rattling is getting further and further away from me. And so I was like, what was going on? So all of a sudden we look up and the guy that we're looking for is looking out the window at me from an apartment 3 apartments over. So we're like, is this guy going through the walls or what? Well, it turns out that he had gone up into the attic, which was one continuous attic all the way from one end of the building to the other. And what we were hearing crashing was him falling through the roofs or through the ceilings of the subsequent apartments that he was going in.
Just crawling across and dropping into each one of them.
Yes. Well, luckily for us, all the ones that he was dropping into were vacant. So, and this guy had just committed a violent home invasion robbery where he'd, clocked this old guy in the head and stole a bunch of his stuff. So this was a violent offender. So we get to, I'm kind of following the windows rattling down to the end of the building. And finally, he crashes again. I don't know how this guy didn't learn, you can't run on the sheetrock. So he looks up, the last window in the building, he looks up, or he looks out the window down at me. And by this point, I beat him to the punch. and I already had my pistol drawn and was pointed it at the window. So it was like, I'm down here. I'm onto your game. Well, he got back up and then went around to the other side and fell through the other apartment. And it was on the staircase was on the end of that building. Well, unlucky for him, the part where he fell was over the staircase coming down, and he fell about 12 feet onto the staircase. Oh. And all of a sudden, him and he runs out the door, and him and I are face to face, and the chase is on. So we chased him. I chased him around the apartment. By this time, Dixon had come around the other side, and we kind of met him, face to face, and he ended up giving up. But I'll never forget him just crashing through every apartment in the upstairs of that complex, and then his face when he popped out that door, and I was standing right there, like he thought he had the drop on us, and he was going to get away, and it didn't end up working out for him.
Well, you talk about having rodents or squirrels in your attic.
Oh man, that'd be horrible.
You just got a bad guy going,
yeah. And the funniest part about this to me is that this guy that we were looking for was a completely different guy. It didn't even end up being this guy. This guy just had like 5 felony warrants. So yeah, he
that's when you
was just
have
in the wrong place.
Here's risk management number.
Exactly.
Yeah, here's the wrong place at the wrong time, personified.
Not even the right guy. All right, guys.
However, we did end up catching the right guy for the home invasion a couple days later. So all's well that ends well. But yeah, that's one of the funnier calls that we've ever had.
All right, guys. Well, that's what we got for today's show. Mike and Bryson, thanks for joining us today. Thanks for being on the show.
Always a pleasure, man.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Hey, we appreciate you guys. Keep it real, keep it funny. Until next time, stay safe and watch each other 6.